Well, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for being here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We want to welcome you all to Shars Bluff Gathering Center and the Dakota County State of the County. It's so great to see so many of our community partners here today. My name is Mike Slavic. I am the 1st District County Commissioner as well as the Chair of the Board for 2025. Before we begin, I'd like to introduce some of my County Commissioner colleagues. Please rise when we introduce you, and we'll hold applause till everybody's been introduced. We start with Commissioner Atkins. Then we have Commissioner Bill Drosty, Commissioner Lori Halverson, Commissioner Mary Liz Holberg, and Commissioner Liz Workman. We also have Commissioner Mary Heyman Rowland, who's not able to be with us today, but we will actually hear from her from the ceiling. She's going to give a little bit of a message from us. We originally had a video, but we're not able to do the video, so as a result, we're going to still hear her recorded message. Also, we have some county staff who are present in the room today, including our county manager, Dr. Heidi Welsh, in the back. So we want to thank her, as well as all the county staff who are here today. Also joining us are some of our federal, our state, local representatives, and I don't want to forget anybody, so I'd like to introduce you all in groups. We're going to start with our federal representatives. Please stand up. We have someone from United States Senator Tina Smith's office, Salia Tucker, as well as from Congresswoman Angie Craig's office, Matthew Butel. So thank you both for being here on behalf of the Senator and Congressman. Also, we have a number of state representatives, state senators, and Met Council representatives. If you would please stand. Thank you all for being here today. And then lastly, we have a number of city council, school board, and township representatives. If you could all please stand, we could acknowledge all of you. And last but certainly not least, we have a number of members of our Chamber of Commerce who are here. If they could all please stand from the chambers. We want to thank all of you for your service as well as dedication to all of the communities throughout Dakota County. We are so glad that you're here with us today. I'd like to begin by welcoming you to this very special place, and with the windows, with the blinds not closed, it's very hard to be inside and not be looking out at the amazing view that we have here at the Shars Bluff Gathering Center at Spring Lake Park. I can tell you as a Hastings native, I know this place well, spend much of my time out here as a kid and as an adult, and it is a very special place. And it's been added, made it even more unique and special with the addition of the Mississippi River Greenway, which connects from downtown Hastings all the way into Ramsey County, Harriet Island, and beyond, but also the Bison, which came in on the western part of Spring Lake Park Reserve. So if you've not been able to go here, I highly recommend you head out west either by bike or by car to the Fahey Trailhead and check out the bison that we have here at Dakota County at Spring Lake Park Reserve. One of the things I think when I talk about the Mississippi River Greenway, that is kind of a metaphor of what we are doing and why we're here today. It took a lot of time, it took a lot of work, and it took a lot of partnerships to be able to get done. The Mississippi River Greenway started when I was still in diapers, and we finally were able to finish it pretty much last winter. So it took 40 plus years from the beginning to the end of getting done, and it took the work of a lot of people who are no longer with us, but we had state partners, city partners, federal partners, business partners, and that's kind of what we're here today to kind of talk about how with Dakota County and the state of the county, we can't do this alone. It takes our partnerships, and we are certainly stronger together when we do stuff. And just like the Greenway, we're able to see that within how we do the work of the counties, the work of our cities, and really in great partnership. In short, it's the required partnership that's proving that we are stronger together when we work together. I'm proud to share that the state of Dakota County is strong and steady thanks to our employees, our taxpayers, and our valued community partnerships. To confirm this status, we'll need to look no further than the 2025 resident survey. Residents gave high marks for quality of life, a sign that they feel safe and enjoy living in Dakota County. You can see those results and many of the others in the county newsletter that you received a couple weeks ago. On that note, I'd like to recognize two leaders who strengthened the bond that we have in our community. Sheriff Joe Lico, who's in the back there, and County Attorney Kathy Keena. Thank you both for your leadership and for everything you do for Dakota County. We are stronger thanks to cities and chambers who banded together with us and key lawmakers to secure critical transportation funding at the legislature. We're stronger thanks to our local partners, and I'd be remiss to not mention my local hometown of the city of Hastings, where together we're working to try to find safer drinking water solutions. And while we've weathered funding storms, we know more challenges are ahead. Our 2026 budget will reflect our adaptations to those challenges. Yet I'm confident that we will forge ahead, working stronger together. In just a few moments, you'll hear from my board colleagues who will share highlights from different county departments. But before we do, I want to just go and acknowledge a couple of the highlights that are not going to be mentioned, and that is a couple different big ribbon cuttings that we had this year that will not be mentioned. We expanded and added to our greenway system, including the expansion of the Vermilion River Greenway, as well as we opened up the Dakota County Jail's new integrative health unit. The last thing before I introduce the first of my colleagues is I'd like to go in and just say on your card, on your table you see a card. If you do have any questions or that you'd like to go write, please write them down, and at the end of this we will go in and answer some of the questions in a Q&A session. So with that, I'd like to go and introduce Commissioner Liz Workman, representing Burnsville in District 5.
And I'm the technically challenged one. Thank you, Commissioner Slavic. As an elected official, our greatest responsibility is public safety. We do that in many ways, but we all know how critical it is to have effective emergency response and skilled first responders. We have a true public safety partnership in Dakota County, and I'd like to introduce Dakota 911 Executive Director Heidi Hiesrich to share highlights of this partnership that serves all county residents. Heidi?
Thank you, Commissioner. Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Just going to adjust this a little bit. So it really is a pleasure to be here tonight to highlight the services that we provide at Dakota 911 and the value that this government partnership really offers the community. So first, just a little bit of background on Dakota 911 and how it came to be. So Dakota 911 originated back in 2005 when the 11 cities and the county came together under a joint powers agreement to form a consolidated 911 emergency response system, with the goal being to deliver this critical public safety function countywide with efficiency and cost savings in mind. In addition to cost savings, this partnership enables efficient and consistent high-quality service delivery countywide. This is achieved through things like uniform training standards and operational practices, centralized communications that streamline emergency response, improve situational awareness to support decision-making, and improve coordination across jurisdictional lines, overall enhancing operational efficiency and effectiveness. Today, Dakota 911 is one of the busiest and most advanced public safety dispatch centers in the state. Our team processes 800 calls per day on average, 70 to 100 calls per hour during some of those peak volume times. Our operational model really sets us up for success and to deliver the highest standards of care. We operate what is referred to as a two-stage dispatch model, which means we separate out the functions of emergency call taking and public safety dispatching. This approach really allows our team to focus on the caller, so the call taker can focus on their needs and providing emergency care or emergency instructions as needed, while their partner, the dispatcher, is starting emergency services and coordinating that response. In fact, this is kind of one area I like to pause and just point out too, something that differentiates us from some of our other local 911 centers in this area. Every single one of our public safety telecommunicators are trained and certified to provide emergency medical, and fire dispatch instructions. So their ability to be able to intervene and provide that immediate life-saving care truly does save lives before responders can arrive on scene. So overall, this model allows us to maintain this high-quality care with efficiency in mind. A couple more things here, just in addition to our well-known functions of emergency call taking and emergency dispatching, Dakota 911 also supports non-emergency call activity throughout the county, as well as serves as the alert and warning authority for all of Dakota County. What that means is that we're working closely with our public safety responders in the field to ensure that the public is notified of danger or critical information as necessary. So think of things like activating those emergency sirens during severe weather events, or perhaps sending out those wireless emergency alerts, asking for the public's help in locating a missing and endangered person, or maybe advising of the need to shelter in place due to danger in your area. So at a high level, summarizes kind of the services that we provide here for the county as a whole. But to wrap up my remarks this evening, really, I would say that Dakota 911 is a strong testament to what strong government partnerships can offer and achieve in the community. In this case, greater efficiency, consistency, and this general shared cost savings overall without sacrificing that overall standard of care. So thank you again for the opportunity to be here tonight just to talk a little bit more about the services we provide at Dakota 911. Thank you.
Thank you, Heidi. I want to especially thank all of our local partners here in the room who are part of Dakota 911. We have an incredible Dakota 911 service with dedicated staff. And really, I want to extend that of our law enforcement, first responders, and public safety workers throughout the county. Their professionalism shows through in the most difficult of circumstances. I saw it, unfortunately, during the tragedy we suffered in Burnsville last year when 3 of our first responders, officers Paul Elmstrand and Matthew Ruge, and firefighter paramedic Adam Vinseth were killed in the line of duty. The work of dispatchers and the high-level coordination among our law enforcement departments needs to be recognized. Their work and our public safety partnerships are deeply important and appreciated, and we thank you very much. And now I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Joe Atkins to continue.
Thank you, Liz, and I think we all share the sentiments about our first responders. Look, folks, a bison. Nobody bought into that? Actually, I am going to have you, what's the use of being in a location like this? Look out the window for a second. Stop looking at me. And I'm going to have you look that way because one of the partnerships that we're highlighting, and you know what, though, before I say that, I just wanted to, I'm so glad that the Mississippi Greenway started when you were in diapers. I'm glad it finished before I was in diapers. But this beautiful landscape that we have here, we took a site in West St. Paul. You talk about the partnerships that the county has. Multiple partnerships were necessary between the city of West St. Paul, Dakota County, the state of Minnesota, Bowser, the Board of Water and Soil Resources, with the benefit and working with our partners in South St. Paul as well. We took a site, you know, honestly, the only thing I could come up with on the way down, it was like a bad karaoke singer, and turned it into Taylor Swift. I mean, it was a contaminated, polluted, terrible site through which a quarter of the city of West St. Paul's pollutants and water, stormwater, flowed. Took that site, and with all of those partners, we turned it into something that looks like this now, outside the window. And in addition to being beautiful and enhancing the River to River Greenway, has a boardwalk going through it. It's got a little waterfall, but the main purpose of it is improving water quality. It captures the water, the sediments drop out, and rather than continuing to pollute in West St. Paul and downstream in South St. Paul and further downstream in that beautiful Mississippi River, the Thompson Oaks Project in West St. Paul, which is a partner between the city, the county, the state, Bowser, and some private entities, we were able to turn that into something that looks like this outside. With that, I am going to turn it back to my chair, Commissioner Slavic, for the next section.
Just want to go in and say the next person that we're going to kind of talk about. That was such a great example of the partnerships that we did. That was even more than just cities and the county, but it took so many people at the table to go in and make such a positive difference within our greenways and what we do. Another strong partnership that we have with our cities is our embedded social worker program. And earlier this year, we opened up the Crisis Recovery Center up in West St. Paul. I'd now like to invite Commissioner Lori Halverson to share a little bit more about that. Lori?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us in this beautiful spot. I just want to stay here for the rest of the time because this view is amazing. I am so pleased to be able to talk about the efforts that Dakota County makes around mental health and the partnerships that we build, not just in mental health, but in our community services area overall, making sure that the most vulnerable people in our communities have a place to go, have a place to find care, and have a place to recover. And the Crisis and Recovery Center is a place like that. I'll give you the background a little bit because I got to see it firsthand. Our partner in mental health, the Guild, has been providing referral services for the county for many years. And they were doing so in 100-year-old homes that are lovely, but aren't able to be maintained, that had, I swear, haunted basements, where their staff were having to do meetings, and places, co-mingled bathrooms where the showers were so tight a grown person could barely stand up in them. And I thought to myself when I visited, how would anyone expect their loved one to get well from a heart attack or from cancer or from a physical illness? And yet we're expecting people to get well from a mental health crisis. And the Guild reached out and said, we need help. We can't serve people with disabilities. We don't have accessibility. An aging person can't trek the stairs in this facility. And Dakota County, how can you help? And there was great teamwork, I would say, on the board to think about how we partner better. And what Dakota County brought to the table is two things that I hope we can continue to model. And we brought capital and we brought land. The building was built in an empty parking area next to one of our Northern Service Center in West St. Paul, which I thought was wonderfully innovative. We had the land and we brought it to the table. It helped us leverage those dollars to get some state dollars. So thank you to our state partners. I see our state representatives here, so that we could bring state dollars to the table and bring these dollars and these resources together to build a trauma-informed space and to not just provide the recovery services, but also to provide crisis response. So if someone is experiencing a mental health crisis, they can be referred or self-referred into a space that is built with light, that is clean, where you can take a nap and get a shower and start to bring down the temperature even before you begin services. I thought that was such an innovative model where you've got a 23-hour room that somebody can use while their loved ones are helping put the services around them. And by doing that, we get to interrupt the crisis process, and we get to start the healing immediately as opposed to having to wait. So I can't say enough about this facility, but I hope that this illustrates how vital our partnerships are and how truly innovative our partners, our county board members, and our staff are when we are given the opportunity. So continue to bring ideas to us, continue to bring questions to us, because together we really can make a difference in people's lives. And with that, I do want to give the opportunity for the Guild to say anything that they want to say. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Commissioner Halverson. She is not exaggerating. 100-year-old buildings, super spooky basements, some of them with dirt walls. I wish we were kidding, but we're not. So, my name is Trish Thacker. I'm the CEO at Guild. I've been here for about a year and a half. So I got to see this project come to fruition. And we are so grateful for this partnership with Dakota County and for our shared values for dignified, person-centered mental health care. As you know, building this facility wasn't an easy proposition, and Dakota County consistently advocated for the importance of accessible, community-based services for residents experiencing significant mental health challenges. The result is this beautiful, dignified space designed specifically to support people in crisis. Community-based and trauma-informed spaces are critical to the crisis and residential setting, where people come to us when they're experiencing their greatest point of need. And in these moments, they are welcomed into this beautiful space that's peaceful and dignified. It has natural light, it has sight lines, it has green space. It's been designed specifically for them. So clients have said to us really directly, unprompted, you know, I came here and I felt like I could breathe. I came here and I felt like I could actually feel a moment of peace, the first time in a really long time. Since opening on February 10th, 81 people have received residential services, crisis services, or a combination of both. That means 81 people experiencing mental health crisis and instability have benefited directly from this partnership. But this also means that so many more friends and family and community members have indirectly benefited from this partnership because people received the right level of care at the right time. For our residential services, 100% of people who successfully discharged returned to the community connected with the services that they need to remain independent. 98% of people who received residential services were able to avoid psychiatric hospitalization. In the crisis setting, 100% of those admitted from the community were returned to the community with services, and again, with the goal of living independently. And 98% of those people also who were admitted to crisis services from non-community settings, 98% of them were able to avoid psychiatric hospitalization as well. The human impact of this is immeasurable. The value of time and space to heal and stabilize can't be numbered. That being said, the financial impact is significant as well. 1 month of inpatient psychiatric hospitalization in the state of Minnesota averages about $30,000. So if just half of the people who received services were able to avoid a psychiatric hospitalization, if they would have had to go into the hospital had they not received these services, that's roughly $1.2 million of cost savings across the system. And that's in the first 7 months of operation. With the turmoil that exists in our local, state, and federal environments, we are grounded and encouraged by this partnership. It's an active demonstration of the belief that everyone deserves health and well-being, and that creating intentional, supportive spaces positively impacts the individual, their family, and their community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Halverson, and thank you, Trish, and for all the partnerships we have with Guild at Dakota County. Now we're going to switch gears to a topic that I think is probably one of the top calls that we get as county commissioners, and that is transportation. And with that, I'd like to go and introduce Commissioner Mary Liz Holberg.
So good afternoon. Unlike Joe, I did not bike here today. I drove on county roads from one end of the county to the other. And we have a very high burden in Dakota County, and that our county roads oftentimes take the place of the state system. In the state of Minnesota, there's a total of 80 lane miles that are principal arterials and not on the state system. Out of the 87 counties, we have 31 of those 80 miles here in Dakota County, meaning we carry 39% of that burden. And those are big, expensive roads to build, maintain, and upgrade. We're very grateful for the partnerships that we've had with the cities and the state. Since I was first elected, the local cost share on these roads has gone from 45% for the cities down to 15%, which has been a big goal of the county board to try and reduce that burden on our local partners. And we're always grateful for the state and federal dollars that help support these road systems because, again, they're very, very, very expensive. Tomorrow at our board meeting, we have an agenda item to release our 5-year capital improvement draft for public comment. We'll be looking for comments from our partners back by the first week in November. But just in the draft, in 2026, we have nearly $103 million worth of projects, and over the 5-year period, nearly $550 million of transportation projects in the CIP. So again, thank you for the partnerships, and I'm going to talk a little bit about moving forward. The state has made some investments with sales tax dollars. I serve on the Transportation Advisory Board as a representative for Dakota County. And there we have lots of partners there with city members. But we're working now setting the framework for the funds distribution for the next round of federal funds and also the active transportation dollars. And the decisions about how these dollars will be set and what the grants will look like are going to be being made over the next 4 to 6 months. So on the tab is Peter Dugan, Mayor of Rosemont, Mayor Weissensell, and Gary Hansen of Egan. But please watch for these plans to start coming out where they're going to show how the criteria will be used to develop the funding applications for what in the regional solicitation in 2026 will be about $300 million that'll be distributed across the 7 counties. And now is the time for us to work as a team and speak up and ensure that the criteria that are being set up for the distribution of these important funding sources reflects the needs of our sub-region. And I didn't get the cheat sheet, so I don't know what's next. You gonna bail me out? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Holberg. These transportation partnerships are very important and sometimes challenging with all the factors and costs, but we do value the work that we've done with our cities, our townships, and the state and federal partners. We're going to keep on going because we all know that we got lots to do, and now we're going to hear the voice from the ceiling. So speaking of that, I'd like to shift the highlights to our work on behalf of workforce and the business community. So we're going to hear a recorded presentation from Commissioner Heyman Rowland.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Commissioner Mary Heyman Rowland, and I'm sorry I could not be with Chair Mike Slavik, my wonderful colleagues on the Dakota County Board, and all of you, our valued partners. Today we celebrate Dakota County and the many success stories we have together. I appreciate the opportunity to share one important partnership that helps benefit all of us by strengthening our economy and supporting our local workforce board. I want to recognize and praise the work of the Dakota Scott Workforce Development Board and our Career Force Centers for the tremendous partnership with our business community as a resource to our residents. The Workforce Development Board has 27 public and private sector professionals who guide and oversee employment programs in Dakota and Scott counties. I believe some Workforce Development Board members are here with us today, including Jennifer Harmoning, our Vice Chair of the Workforce Development Board and President of the Burnsville Chamber of Commerce. Our Workforce Board focus is helping job seekers and employers, and this work is most visible at CareerForce locations in Burnsville, West St. Paul, and Shakopee. In 2024, nearly 700 customers visit one of these locations every month, a monthly increase of more than 100 visits from the previous year. The Workforce Board serves job seekers and employers locally, but it's recognized across the state for its creativity and leadership. It designs and offers effective programs while also planning strategies to tackle future workforce and economic development issues. The hard work and dedication of the Workforce Development Board and CareerForce Services have contributed to Dakota and Scott counties having unemployment rates that are lower than both the United States average and the state average. Not only that, but they represent one of the most remarkable partnerships that have made Dakota County a great place to live and work. Happy Workforce Month. Thank you all.
Well, thank you again to Commissioner Heyman Roland. We truly value and support our partnerships with our chambers and those in the business community in Dakota County. You are a big part of what makes Dakota County a growing, vibrant place to live and work. Commissioner Heyman Roland mentioned in her message, but I'd like to take a moment quickly to recognize Jennifer Harmoning, who's with us here today. In addition to her work with the Chamber, as was noted, she also serves on our Dakota Scott Workforce Board. I just want to go once again, thanks for the partnerships in the business community and in the county. It does make Dakota County a great place to live. Shifting gears from workforce, let's talk economic development. With that, I'd like to introduce Commissioner Bill Drosky.
Thank you, Commissioner, and welcome to such a beautiful setting. No one else has said it, but welcome to fall. So, and next 2 weeks, I think North Shore was this weekend. 2 weeks, come back here, and everything will change. Economic development to Dakota County is twofold. First of all, it's partnering with and being a good partner with the private sector as they redevelop our old communities and as our new communities develop. The second part is through the Community Development Agency, or CDA, to support our housing and economic development. And often these projects, whether they're in older communities or new, involve partnerships with the private sector again. Supporting development for the county is key to our growth and viability, our workforce, and to broaden our tax base. And with these projects, we need the support from all levels of government. Currently, the CDA is working with the City of Eagan on the development of the old Delta site, and within about a week or two, I think they'll begin to tear down the old data center. It will be one of the largest projects we've worked on in our CDA's history. Although the CDA is responding to the demand of workforce, we're also doing a lot on housing. For example, Nichols Point earlier this year in Eagan, it was affordable senior housing with a veterans preference, and currently we're just about complete with the workforce housing project in Farmington. But there are other examples of economic development partnership. The state, the county, and the city of Rosemount all work together on projects of Umore Park. It was a little over a decade ago where the mining operation moved forward, and there was over a $70 million investment on the 80-acre production site. Subsequently, the city, the state, and the county all worked together on an AUAR so that it prepped the land and the concept for a developer to move forward with the first housing. Subsequently, Meta purchased approximately 230 acres, bringing that land onto the tax base. And today, if you drive by the site, there's over 1,000 construction workers building that facility. That's been such a big project and a big lift for the city of Rosemount. I want to recognize the city administrator, Logan Martin, and the mayor, Jeff Weisensell. Why don't you stand, take a bow? As you read about these projects, especially Logan Martin, it wasn't 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. It's been many, many, many years and continued meetings as we move forward. These are some of the bigger projects, but all development projects signal positive economic growth for our county and the tax base. We're looking forward to continue this growth with new opportunities and continue to make Dakota County a good place to work and live. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Droste. You know, those are just some great examples of how we support housing and economic development in partnership with the private sector. We're just about done, but I'm sure you're all working on your questions to try to stump myself and the county manager. But the last topic that I'm actually going to share a little bit about, and that is the one, if we do it right, we do it well, nobody knows. Nobody ever goes in and knows that we do it. But if we don't do it well, we have the bullseye on our back. And that is elections. We are very proud of the fact that we do good, safe, secure, accessible elections in Minnesota. However, it hasn't always been the shining point, but I'm very excited when we talk about the state of the county that, I'll smile first there. I will tell you, I have a tendency, that's our local paper here, and I have a tendency where there's a lot of strange action shots of me going like that. So I'll make sure I have the good picture there. So of that part. But on elections, this is one of these things where the county is the backbone to all of our elections that we have in here. There are 45 cities, townships, schools that go in Dakota County that run the elections locally. However, it is what the resources and support that the county has that makes sure that we try not to make the paper, as sometimes we have. And I'm just really proud of what we've been able to do in our 2024 elections and even the elections that we've been able to have this year. We have an amazing election staff. We ramped up to go and make sure that the integrity of elections is first and foremost the number one thing that we must do in local governments at the county level, at our cities, our schools. We need to make sure we have fair and clean elections. And we always have had them. But technology sometimes gets in our way, and that has had some problems with that. So one of the things that we were able to do is we went and streamlined our absentee process, and I'm very proud to say we have all 45 cities, counties, cities, school, townships, and that have all come in and done a joint powers agreement where now your absentee balloting is centralized. We're able to have we're having election judges who are able to go and verify and do everything at that point. That is not only streamlined, but has actually made a more transparent process within elections. And it took us a while to get there, but we will now have, for all elections moving forward, every single one of our partners on the same page so that no matter where you go, it's going to look the same. And that is the best way to go and avoid errors in some of the transactions. We're now getting to the point where some elections, we're having half of those votes come from someone who does an absentee or an early voting. So being able to make sure that the same process is done in every single community is essential. That doesn't happen in every single county, but it was so fundamental to be able to create the efficiency in Dakota County to be able to have the greatest success. So thank you to our city, school, and township partners for being able to realize that doing it, giving up a little bit of your responsibility and authority was able to go and make a better process for everybody. Another thing that the county does is the county goes and trains our city clerks, our township clerks, our school deputies, and the election judges so that it is consistent and we follow state law all the way through. We attend public accuracy tests when requested, and we ensure that the equipment is in proper working order. And that's all before Election Day. Currently, we're going through a process to actually go in and update and improve and get new election equipment. This is something that the last time it was done, it was a 50-50 partner with our local governments and the county. And we've been able to actually go and change the structure, realizing how important it is to have updated and the best equipment possible, that we've actually changed our scenario, and we are paying for more as a county of that, because the county owns and maintains all of the equipment, and it's just to be able to go and make sure that we have a responsibility in Dakota County, because we are partners throughout all of that. So this has just been another partnership model that has actually benefited everybody by sharing our expertise, sharing our knowledge. We brought in all the clerks to go and test out the equipment to know that we're following federal law, we're following state law. But that's just one of those examples, as I said. If we do it right, you never even know we're part of the game, but the fact of the matter is we want to make sure that we're doing it right each and every single time, that we have the highest level of accuracy, accessibility, security, and reliability in each and every one of our elections. So so that's one of our great partnerships that we've been able to be very excited about. And before we get to the question and answers, I just want to wrap up all of this by thanking all of you for the willingness and commitment to be partners with Dakota County each and every day. We are certainly always going to have challenges moving ahead, but I think we can point to these accomplishments that we've talked about today and so many more to say that we are stronger together when we work together.